And we all got to keep on moving, and we got to keep on pumping. We got to keep on jumping. We got to keep on fucking and sucking and licking and tricking and just making sure that we're doing everything we can, controlling what we can control. And life's all about choices, and the choices you make, the choices you don't make, and the people that you meet and the people that you don't meet and the people that you eat if you're on bath salts. But if you're trying to figure out who you are and who you want to be, the best way to do that is to drink a bottle of Pinot Grigio, take all your clothes off, and jump off a roof onto a trampoline, and hopefully that trampoline decides what your next move is, which is back up onto the roof or straight through the ground, okay? And then you don't have to worry about a coffin and a ceremony because you're just dead right there. Or, you know, and hear me out, or the neighbors come over and they've got some young, fresh out of, grad school daughter, and she goes, well, who's that guy? And she's got a quick look at your package because you're buck naked, right? Remember that part? And that's when she goes, well, who's that guy? And then you guys start talking, Facebooking, LinkedIning. And next thing you know, boom, you're having triplets. And she's leaving you for her Pilates trainer named Sebastian, right? Which is just his stage name. His real name's Craig, but he thought Sebastian was a sexier name that MILFs and Cougars would want to play with themselves to. So, in keeping in the spirit of the holidays, which we're coming up on post-Easter and post-Passover, die another day? Hey, I'm going to live another day. Fuck you, Daniel Craig. And I don't mean that literally. I mean it figuratively because I'd love to have you on the show someday or even have a cup of coffee with you or drag race with you, You seem like a fun guy. Where's he from, by the way? Like, Daniel Craig, that's a hot guy. He's on my top of the list of guys I'd fuck if I wasn't married. And sometimes I feel like I'm not, Sometimes you feel like what's that candy commercial? Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. I think that's Corn Nuts, but it's also Daniel Craig. Sometimes you want to help him bust a nut, and sometimes you don't. But that's just, that's college for you. If I taste it and I hate it, then I shouldn't be tasting it. Right?
I couldn't agree more, man.
And I think that, the chemicals that they put into their meat. And first of all, Subway, let's just go ahead and rip off that sandwich artist label because you're the furthest thing from an artist, I've seen so many young, prepubescent, acne-filled, HPV-ridden, knee brace, fucking, jet ski action. I cut my finger on trying to, suck my girlfriend's clit ring off, type of, my dad sells fireworks to the government type kids. And they're walking in there trying to make me a 6-inch, teriyaki chicken on Honey Oat. Don't cancel me. And they don't even wash their hands. I'm like, you're not an artist. Even Picasso washed his hands before he rubbed one out. We'll be right back. We'll keep it right here. So what's your take on that? And a poet. I've seen quite a few slam poetry nights in downtown LA and in upstate New York where you're just laying down rhythms and rhymes and just spitting fire, quite frankly, and in front of people that truly are the best of the best. Eminem famously said, we have it here somewhere, where Eminem said, wow, when he saw you.
He did. I actually I go with nothing prepared. That's what a lot of people don't know about
Off
me,
the
man.
dome, yeah.
I just say, hey, I go, give me a sound. I don't even need a word.
Here we go. Ready?
Let's go.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh is from the movie Teen Wolf. and I would say that Bobby Finstock was the coach. And Boof and Styles. Sometimes I just name the characters in a movie, man.
Boof was a character in Teen Wolf?
That was the girl that he wound up with at the end. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, spoiler. First of all, if you end up with a girl named Boof, hey,
By the way, also tuna's a spoiler.
From the negative, because you want to find both sides, right? If you board a plane and somebody goes, hey, wear a mask, and you've got some guy behind you saying, and Mr. Trump, I know that, you, even on Air Force One, they tried to make you wear a mask and you did not want to do it, but because you said, it's a free country, but also my face, people want to see my face. But, I don't know if that was true, but you stuck to it.
Let me just say this, okay? I don't wear masks. I don't wear them for Halloween. I won't wear them for surgery, okay? I don't wear them at any point because I think it's not real, COVID, okay? And masks, actually, if they don't do much of anything, and I think, believe me, a lot of people are saying, I'm not the only one. I mean, I'm saying it right now, but so many people, mask people, look this up. You can look this up, believe me. Mask people are saying, we don't work.
Well, they don't. I don't. Look, I still have COVID, okay? I got it when it started. It has not gone away. I lost my taste. I lost my smell. I lost my ability to love, which was the craziest part. And not just for my wife, but I love Halo. I love Snackwell's cookies. And now I just don't even, you could just fucking queef down my throat and I'd still go to bed on time. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I've been to Russia, and they do
and
that.
You walk down, you see every type of person, right? You see a fat guy, you see a Persian guy with nice shoes, you see a Armenian guy with bad shoes, you see a woman with an Armenian guy with cool shoes next to a guy with bad shoes. What do you do? Do you size them up? Do you let them know I could fuck you up? Because I've always wanted that. I do that at, look, I go to a putt-putt course. There's some kid who's got a hole-in-one. He's trying to impress some girl that hopefully he can, finger later. I definitely give him a little elbow on the next hole and just go, you ain't shit, bitch. But that's just for my own ego, And also, I like to be king of the putt-putt. How do you handle that?
I'll do that with animals. If I see
you talk shit to creatures. Isn't that the plot of Madagascar?
Absolutely. A zebra. Bye-bye. Lion guy. Go home.
I'd pay $1 million to see you ride a zebra out of the zoo as the rest of the animals followed behind, as if you were like the fucking Pied Piper,
I need to buy a zebra.
Well, I know a zebra guy. It ain't cheap, and it's not legal, and I don't actually know him, but I could figure it out because I'm one of those guys where there's a will, there's a way, and I know Will Ferrell, Will Wheaton, and Will Clark, the Major League Baseball player, and all those guys know zebra guys. So between that,
I say we get ourselves a couple of zebras.
And
we ride across Africa.
Mississippi.
Yes.
The Africa of the West.
Of the West. Because of the rivers.
Well, they're shooting Blended 2 over there soon. The Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore movie.
I think I'm probably in it. I have to talk to my agent. I mean, every film he does, I want to play a zebra in this new one.
Zebra is a great porn name or stripper name or someone that just works at like a donut shop.
His stripes are right. Oh, yeah. I think that's what we do. I get you and I play the wisecracking zebras in the movie, and we get a female named Deborah the Zebra. And there's three of us, like the jackals or the hyenas and the Lion King. And we narrate the whole film as these wisecracking, hilarious zebras.
Well, if we're going to have a film where we have people voicing characters like that, we'd have to have my man Seth Rogen, who I don't think people understand. Seth, and first of all, you reached out to me to be on today's show because you said, I've got some stuff I need to talk about. I've got some laundry I need to air out because we're approaching a time in life where we've never seen this much division between not just people, but the types of people, and also in schools. They're bringing back division, right? In math,
it's unbelievable. Like when I was a kid, I was like, wow, it seems like everything is getting better, and up in Canada, it's like we feel united. But like in the last few years, it's just been like, wow, everybody is so angry at everybody, and it's just like I've got to like smoke more weed than I ever wanted to before, just to like sort of mellow out. It's like giving me anxiety.
Yeah, I get anxiety, like I just wake up in the middle of the night and I think I'm like in a cage, right? Or I start thinking about, I have flashbacks to T-ball when my coach would like, spit on me if I struck out. Do you have thoughts like that? Are there things that trigger moments in your life where you go, I wish I was better?
Yeah, when absolutely. The other day, I was out there and I thought I was smoking Purple Nurple, and I was actually smoking a Puffy Dumpster,
And I was like, wow.
Fuck that noise.
Fuck that noise. And there was like so much noise in my head. And I was like, all right, hey, I'll, you know what I'll do is I'll just like cancel it all out. So I just like took another thing that's called a grimace boner. And I sucked on that for a while. And I was like, all right. And then I realized I wasn't sucking on a grimace boner. I was sucking on a McNugget.
What's
It
crazy?
wasn't even weed.
What's crazy about and McNugget, that's a euphemism, right? In some countries, it's foreplay. It's the appetizer.
It's that Irish midget wrestler, McNugget.
And this is what I love about you. You're a global. You got like mass appeal. Your movies do well overseas. They do well. Under the sea. I know SeaWorld, you had to deal with them for a while to play your movies for the fish before they got eaten by Shamu as a little send-off of like, life ain't so bad. Oh, wait, num, 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 you're dead. Do you think that there's going to ever come a point where movies don't exist?
I think, here's what this is what I think.
Because now we got Hulu and Fubu, and it's like, what's next,
Yeah, I just tried to sell to Fubu.
Oh, you were part owner in Fubu, huh?
I love the jerseys. I love the jerseys.
Would you buy a tampon for your wife that was made from Fubu?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that was the problem with their marketing scheme is they didn't make themselves accessible enough. It was just like hoodies and
Reebok made tampons, so when there was so much blood, you could keep pumping.
Well, I do like the idea. You're too quick for your own good sometimes. I do feel been someone that doesn't have an issue talking, and now you get to do it with just ads in between for mattresses and pillows and bullshit. But is there? What's the theme of the podcast? First of all,
it's called the Vaughn Effect, my man, and it's about me taking a friend right now and us getting over here and just picking a topic and just kind of going off it.
Just friends bonding.
It's like it's a VV guest kind of attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like Vince Vaughn versus, and then whoever I bring across the table. We'll talk about anything right now. We talked about Fubu tampons last week. It was a great one, and I like the energy that we both brought to the conversation. It was myself and it was Robert Downey Jr.
Well, that guy rules, and he rules so hard that. Look, there's 5 different guys I'd love to be if I could get a time machine. And you talk about time travel because you've time traveled.
I actually have, my man. I love time traveling. I'm a time traveling motorboating son of a bitch. And I like the energy of the time. I like to bring the time, and the time is relative. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, like we all wear watches, but I'm trying about Watch the Throne is coming out with another one. They're doing a second one with Kanye and Jay-Z. This daddy can't wait for it. I'm excited. I'm excited for that album.
You're a man about town. You're a man of the hour. You're a man with the plan, starring Matt LeBlanc. Or was it Man Without a Plan?
It was Man with a Plan. It was, I think, it ran for a little while on CBS.
And I think that, that was a big deal for Matt LeBlanc because, a lot of people put money on the fact that you can only be Joey from Friends. I said that. I put $90,000 on the fact that he would never work again. And, I'd love to be wrong. I said that Danny Bonaducci would host a daytime talk show, and I was right. Now, did I put money on that? No, because it was like I was just fucked up, and I said, I bet he'll host a show. And then he did it because he had connections in that world. But when you're making bets, and I know you bet on a lot of turtle races, I know you bet on, you'll meet someone at a Starbucks and go, I bet that person's going to be the next president. That person's going to work for someone important.
Daddy lost money, though. I bet on a lot of turtles. I bet that Paul Giamatti was going to be Michelangelo. It turns out that they made him Bebop or Rocksteady, one of those guys.
Well, one of those. And those are the lost souls, right? Bebop, Rocksteady, Cash Me Outside Girl. Sure, she's living the dream. I think she has bought a fucking yacht or some shit. But it makes me go back to an earlier point. McDonald's became McDonald's because of the food, but what sustained them? The characters, right? I know that the Hamburglar, is someone you've been long been trying to play in a TV movie because he's misunderstood.
Rubble, rubble. I believe that was his catchphrase, rubble, rubble.
Was the Hamburglar?
I believe so it was.
You sure that wasn't Barney Rubble's catchphrase?
I think he was a fan of the Flintstones. I think we all are a fan of the Flintstones, but I think he was like a rubble, rubble kind of guy.
Well, I've been saying this for years. Fuck the Tesla. Fuck the plug-in, okay? Get me that foot-motivated car where I can just truly decide when I start and stop. I have to be, succumb to the man. Let me decide.
I think it's going to be hard in San Francisco area where it's a lot of uphill battles and stuff like that. But I agree
well, then
with
it
you.
forces you, again, our country's so fucking fat, it forces you to get some leg strength going. Make leg day a priority instead of cookie day.
I like this. I like this idea. I mean, I like Barney Rubble. I like the whole Flintstone kind of energy, the kind of attitude. I hope that Jurassic Park is, I hope that's real because I want to bring those dino babies back. I want to have a good time with all those guys too.
Also, who was your favorite animal in the Flintstones world? Because there was I think there was a rhino who did the dishes. There was like a pterodactyl that went like that I don't know, that fucking, he did something to Fred's balls or something.
Yeah. I remember that guy's name was Leonard.
Fluffy or something. It was the
I like the Great
Flintstones
Kazoo.
fluffer.
I like the
The Great Kazoo. What'd he do again?
He was the alien, the little green guy. They would
Right.
pop in from the future. I think he was
Right.
actually from the Jetsons, but they did a lot of crossovers, which I really enjoyed. My favorite kind of guy, I like the guy that would take the pictures. He would chisel, and then you go, "Hey, buddy, how are you doing, my man?" You know what he'd say? "Hey, it's a living. It's a living." He was the funny one. He was the comedic, the kind of the energy. He brought that kind of energy to that fucking family. You know what I mean?
He was the comic relief, but also that's a tough gig to get. Flintstones family portrait guy.
I mean, incredible.
Now,
What about Bam Bam? Hey, what does this kid do for a living? He's abusive. Let's call him Bam Bam. It's adorable.
you make a good point because abuse in the home is no laughing matter, but the Flintstones made it okay by putting it on the kid. They said, hey, here's a kid who doesn't know any better. We're going to give him a giant nightstick that looks like a fucking turkey leg and let him just go to town beating the shit out of everyone. But and he made it better by just saying what he was doing.
He's like, "Hey, I'm not bullshitting you right now.
Bam, bam.
What am I doing right now? I'm Bam Bamming you. I'm Bam Bamming you.
No, thank you, ma'am. Just bam, bam.
Bam Bam, thank you, ma'am."
Well, if he said that, maybe we would have. There'd been a
Forgiven
season
him,
2.
yeah, a little bit of forgiving him a little bit, but he's a child. He's a child. We're teaching him bad manners, is what I'm trying to say. You know what that did not take place in 2022, my man. That did not stand today. You know what he would say? Sorry. That little kid just apologizing for everything.
Shit, that's deep. And it's deep, but it's also fair. And that's what I'm about. I'm about getting deep and getting fair.
It's my favorite kind of porn.
Well, it's the only way I do intercourse is I'm going to get in there, but I'm not going to lie about how much I'm packing. You saw it when I pulled my pants down. And I'm not saying that figuratively. I mean that as a real life thing that I said.